Hello, everybody. Welcome to Glass Half Dead. And today I am talking about some recent Games Workshop news, stuff that once again everybody else has already talked about. Now, I don't normally comment on news because I rarely have an opinion. And if I don't have an opinion, what's the point? However, on this particular note, I do have an opinion. And that opinion is obviously where to buy your pitchforks and torches from when we decide to take out Games Workshop for daring to increase their prices. How dare they? For those of you that don't know, on the 4th of February, Games Workshop has announced that they are going to increase the price of their paints and their start collecting boxes. They're increasing the price of their paint by 20p per pot and an undisclosed amount on the start collecting sets. Despite the hyperbole I just threw at you there, I actually don't mind this. And that's why I'm talking to you today. Because obviously nobody likes paying more for things, especially not me. However, I did some think. And the reason I don't mind that they've decided to increase the cost of some of their basic products is because, okay, so the start collecting boxes first went up for pre-order, I believe. I did a little bit of research for you here, guys, on the 3rd of January 2016. That is almost exactly, well, that's over 3 years ago. The first start collecting boxes, if you don't remember, were Space Marines, Tals, Skitarii, Tyranids, Imperial Guard, and Necrons. That's a full 3 years ago, okay? And it's actually rather amazing that there hasn't been a price increase since, especially considering how hard the pound has tanked thanks to Brexit. Hey, racism. And that's a bit crazy. But let's also not forget the basics of inflation. So for anybody that doesn't know, which should be most of you, because why would you? Why would you look at this? Anyway, British inflation has hovered around the 2 to 2.5% per year. So actually, every year, the boxes have been getting cheaper. Just due to inflation. But obviously that's basic economics across the whole of, UK products or world products inflation. We know how that works. But let's stay on topic. So the boxes are now roughly 7% cheaper than they were 3 years ago. And so while a price increase is not something anybody wants, it's kind of fine, actually. Games Workshop is a company that has to make money, and every year they don't increase prices is a year they take a loss to their profit margins. Now, let's also be entirely clear, their profit margins are insane. They make so much profit per item. I'm not going to search for it because it wasn't a verified statement anyway, but there was a rumor of someone at Games Workshop boasting about how great, like in a private email kind of thing, about how great a job they'd done with the anniversary model. For those of you that don't remember, I think it was the 25th anniversary. They re-released a Space Marine that was the same sculpt but with new technology, effectively, of like their first ever Beaky Marine. That's the anniversary model. And they managed to get that model, like the entire process from, design, manufacturing, production, shipping, boxes, everything. The total cost per unit for Games Workshop for that model was rumoured to be 50p. And for those of you that don't remember, they charged £20 for that. You could do the maths, but that's insane. That's insane. If that's true, obviously, rumour. We don't really know, and obviously Games Workshop is never going to tell us that. If that's true, Jesus. It's unsubstantiated, of course. But it wouldn't shock me, if I'm honest. But you know what? That's their business model. Those price margins have worked for a long time, and we as the public are apparently happy to pay the premium price for a premium product. And let's be objective here, whatever they are doing has allowed Games Workshop to stay at the top of the wargaming miniatures market for a very long time. Anyway, I'm rambling. That's not really the point. My point is that since they first released, due to the economy, for Games Workshop to still be making the same amount of money per box as they were 3 years ago, they would have to increase the price of the start collecting boxes to roughly £60. That's a £10 price increase. Well, actually to £57.50, but that's only including inflation, not looking at the relative drop in value of the pound to the dollar. That said, they've stated they are increasing the price of their paints, as I mentioned, by 20p per pot. The cheapest paint you can get for them is £2.55. Are you all enjoying my maths? I hope you are, because I didn't use a calculator, but I thought about it, so you're welcome. Anyway, the cheapest paint you can buy for them is £2.55, which means that they are increasing the price of their paint by under 10%. In fact, remarkably close to the 7.5% I just mentioned for inflation. So, my guess is that the start collecting box sets will increase to £55. Now, obviously, there's no reason to actually state that as a guess. Just £55 is an easier pill to swallow for a new person than £60, kind of just from a psychological standpoint. And let's not forget that the current sales funnel is buy the start collecting box. That's the first thing people are buying, really. So, as much as I want to hate on Games Workshop for doing something wrong, and trust me, when they do something wrong, the hate shall flow, I can't complain about this. It's a price correction more than a price increase. Look, £50 is a great price point to get people into the game. It's a nice round number, and while, yes, that may sound silly, who cares about a round number? Well, people that aren't fully convinced on whether or not they want to get into the game care about a round number. So, is the price increase, because let's not forget they've taken this price hit for the past 3 years, why change now? Is this actually indicative of something else? Conspiracy theory time, brace yourselves. With such a huge release of products these days, it's coming thick and fast. And I'm not going to make a sexual joke there, guys, because this is serious business. We're talking maths here. Let's not, okay? Control yourselves. I'm not going to say it again, but it is appearing. Games Workshop products are appearing on shelves in a rapid fashion. There you go. That works. Is this repricing actually a considered and tactical decision because they have deliberately changed their introduction sales funnel? Sales funnel, if I can speak. Start collecting boxes are great, there's no doubt. But let's think about what Games Workshop has been doing in the recent past. What are they pushing? Not start collecting boxes at all. No, they're pushing the 2-player box sets like Forgebane, Tooth and Claw, and Wake the Dead. I mean, why get one person into the game when you can split the box with a friend and get 2? Or, better yet, basically force the new player to start collecting 2 armies at once. It's evil genius. I kind of admire them. I might take some notes for my novel. Anyway, also, the obvious new starting point for Warhammer now is, let's be honest, Kill Team. It's divided up into smaller units, making the initial investment seem even more reasonable to the new gamer. Now, of course, as seasoned Games Workshop veterans, we know that actually the start collecting boxes are much better value when it comes to raw plastic on the table than a Kill Team faction starter. Although they do get terrain in those, which will lead to more money spent on hobby, I suspect. Awfully cunning and well thought out, isn't it? Anyway, I don't really have a point to this. I'm just musing. I'm just, riffing. Spitting what does one spit? Bars? No? I don't know, but I'm spitting that. Yeah. Anyway, I think we're seeing a change in how Games Workshop is trying to get people into Games Workshop as a brand, relying on social factors to convert the players from Kill Team to main 40k as, right now, there's a pretty clear structure for how to progress. Kill Team Starter Faction, Kill Team Commander, Kill Team Killzone, Kill Team Arena. Okay, that's a big question mark there, but I'm wish listing. Just let me have this one, please. Okay, thank you. Then you get the Start Collecting box. Then you get literally everything else in the store. That's their sales funnel. No longer do they start with the Start Collecting box. That's now the penultimate step. And okay, I know you're all looking at the Start Collecting box and the Kill Team, what you get there. And yes, there's a lot of duplicated models. But what does Games Workshop care? That just means you have to buy more. Okay. I'll admit I've been sounding a little bit cynical on that one, with the whole they are deliberately duplicating their products, forcing us, if we want value and a good sales funnel into the game, to buy multiples of the same thing. But I am being cynical, yeah. But to be clear, I actually don't mind. Yeah. Which maybe isn't the best thing to say for an opinion piece. Yeah, it's not the strongest of opinions, I realise, but I don't mind. Duplicate models to me means models that you can get a bit wild on with the converting front without having to care if you mess up. And let's be honest, the final word on it regarding that, ultimately, this is a hobby, not a game. Anyway, I hope you've had a great day so far and continue to have one. Did I make a statement or a point or even actually show my opinion? I don't know. Maybe. But this has been Glass Half Dead regardless, logging out.